Good morning, welcome to another video. As you can see from the frost on the ground, it is a very cold morning. It is 0 degrees and you'll probably hear I'm absolutely bunged up solid. As I touched on, I think in the last video, I'd had COVID, the family had COVID. I seem to have escaped it. I came out fishing about 10 days ago now. Saw that in that, so much jumping. Saw that in the last video. I thought I got away with it. I don't know whether it was going out fishing. I did fish like a pillock, as you saw in the last video. I'll link it in up there and down there if you've not seen it. But yeah, I was pretty ill after that. I've been properly ill. And you might say, well, why are you coming out, especially on a day like this? Well, the reason is these tickets were booked many months ago. I say tickets, got 2 tickets today and tomorrow. Booked for a guiding day. A chap called Mark. Hi, Mark. Unfortunately, Mark can't make it. He too has COVID, but he hasn't recovered in time. To be honest, 2 days ago, I wouldn't have been able to come. Probably yesterday, I wouldn't have been able to come. But I do feel well enough today, despite what it sounds like. So apologies for being all nasal. Apologies for the coughing and the sneezing that I'm sure is going to happen. Well, I just feel like I've got a pretty rubbish cold now, to be honest. So, as I say, conditions. The river's up about 1 metre on summer levels, low summer levels. So it's reasonable. Does mean it's less of a walk to the decent swims, hopefully decent swims, although I'm sure the frost last night, there's another frost due tonight, we're going to be having some tricky fishing days, I'm convinced. Water temperature's going to have dropped. It was fairly low anyway, low for this time of year. It's about 11 degrees. I'm sure it's going to be relatively low. So I've got a plan, I've hatched a plan. I'm going to do something a little bit different and we'll just see if that works. So anyway, I didn't drag myself out of bed at stupid o'clock to sit here talking. So I'm going to get a bit of bait in this swim here. I've got another swim a bit further up I'm going to bait up. My friend Tony's coming. He's going to take Mark's tickets today and tomorrow. He can't make it till a bit later on today. He was off work today, but he's got dog duties at the moment. So he's going to come around sort of late morning and then be with us all day tomorrow as well. So fingers crossed we can have some barbel out. That's the plan. Anyway, that really is enough waffle. Let's get some bait in. We'll bait up a swim up there and then we'll get cracking. Now I'm baiting these 2 particular swims to start with because they've done me fish in the past. They've both, as you can see from this one, this is the second one. And I'll show you the one we did the intro in a minute. They've got a lovely crease in there. So you can fish out some fast water relatively easily. Not that it's particularly banging through today. But that crease is where the fish will often find some food. It's where the food will often settle out of the fast water. Natural food, that is. So what we'll do is we'll just add a bit of non-natural food. I've just got a mixture of pellets here, some halibut pellets, some krill pellets. We'll put a few bait droppers of this in, a bit of hemp. And then we'll leave this one to settle for, well, at least an hour. Now I'm not expecting to catch too many fish at all. I think if we have a few fish between us today, we'll have done well. In the conditions, we've got very sunny days in store, next 2 days. A river with about a foot of visibility, which sort of tallies up with the height, which is why I thought perhaps I'd bring the float gear. I might be able to use that tomorrow. I might feel a bit more energetic tomorrow. So I am getting better quite quickly. I'm hoping today doesn't knock me back. Certainly the weather's thrown as worst a day as possible it could at me. A freezing cold start. So thank you very much for that. It does seem this year like we've gone straight from summer to winter. It's bizarre. I mean, we're in the second week of October. We've got frosts. I have to say, if I hadn't got these days booked, if it wasn't so difficult to cancel with the Wine Usk, well, you can't actually cancel. They can try and resell your ticket for you. Or, if you give enough notice, they'll let you book in later in the year. But when Mark was talking about not being able to come, I did think about that, but I thought, well, it's only going to get colder and colder, isn't it? And that was before I got relatively bad with this flipping COVID, which is about the third time I've had it now. So here we are. You can tell I'm ill, I've bought a chair. I think we're going to start off in here, that first swim we baited. And yeah, see how we get on. Now, because I haven't brought my brain with me today, I've managed to leave my back stick in the car, which is a great start. But fortunately, very recently the farmer's been doing a bit of hedge trimming. So there's plenty of sticks about, so I might grab one of those rather than having to leave all my stuff here and sort of walk back 10 minutes and back here again 10 minutes. I think we'll go a bit native for now, and then we'll perhaps go and grab it in a bit when I've had a bit of a rest, and perhaps when Tony turns up to look after the gear. Right, gear wise, I've got my Dower Infinity Evo barbel 12-foot £1.75 test curve rod. Should just about cope with this flow, I think. Anything we should encounter on this stretch. GSBR LT 3000 reel. I've got my method feeder set up on here. I'll direct you to a link up there and down in the description. You can see how I set this up, because I think we're going to go on the method to start with. But it is very adjustable, so we can change it over to a standard ledger rig should we need to, or as and when we need to. Got a bag of feeders. What we'll do is mix up some ground bait. When your hands are as cold as mine, that water feels quite warm. I'm guessing it's probably around 10 degrees, something like that. And what I'm mixing up here is what I'm going to mix my ground bait with. What I've decided to do, as I mentioned, I'm doing something a little bit different. What I've decided to do is go, as it's cooling down, is go non-fish meal. So what I've got in here is some non-fish meal items, shall we say. I've got, it's about 2 parts crushed up Sticky Baits Manila boilies. They're completely blitzed to crumb. It's about 1 part Manila active mix, and it's 2 parts, I think it's Bait Tech, it's coconut method ground bait in there. And the idea is, this is some Manila liquid, and I'm going to mix it up with this, make it nice and sticky. That's the plan. So we'll see how we get on. Never done this before, so this may go very wrong, or it may be really good. There's only one way to find out. It smells lovely, I have to say. Vanilla-y, coconutty. You may need a bit more water. But I just thought, with it being a bit colder and gone a bit colder, we're down to, as I say, probably, my guess is 10 degrees with the water. Let's put all that in. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just think that's the way to go. It'll be interesting. Be interesting to see what happens. I've got lots of fish meals with me. Can always go to the car, get some, change over. It's not an issue. But I just fancy giving this a go, really. Something a bit different. Right, I reckon that's pretty close. It'll probably dry out a bit, so we'll probably have to stodge it up a bit more. Well, if that sticks to the feeder like it's sticking to my fingers, we'll be cracking. Right, shows you what my chest is like. I'm out of breath mixing grain bait. And I know there's been a lot of barbel videos lately, and if you don't enjoy barbel videos, apologies for that, but it's just kind of the way things have fell. I mean, I haven't been out for 10 days, obviously, as you can tell. I've made myself ill last time coming out, so I've not been out since. Otherwise, I would have done some more local stuff. And as I say, these 2 days were guiding days, really. We'll certainly be out on the Avon and tributaries again soonish. They've been very high and flooded again, unfortunately. I'm sure we'll be able to get out on them before too long. Right, we'll go on the method. Right, that's about that. That'll do us, won't it? Right, let's see if we get any signs of anything. Actually, I'm going to move that around a bit, that bank stick. Let's stick that there for a second. That wasn't very well planned, was it? Let's put that round there. Could do that being a bit longer, really, but could do that rod being much higher. I'm perhaps going to find another one in a minute when I get my breath back. No, not a sniff. I think that's enough of that. We'll get moved to the other swimmy baited up. But what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to stash my gear and go and get a proper bank stick. So here we are, swim number 2. It is warming up beautifully. Got a proper sweat on after my walk back to the car, but as you can see, I've got my bank stick now. We'll see how we get on in here. We baited this up a good hour ago now, at least an hour ago. So hopefully we'll have got the fish onto the feed. I think perhaps the longer the day goes on, the more or the better chance we'll have, to be honest, purely because the water's going to warm up. I think it's probably taken a hit last night. It's going to warm up during the day, so hopefully, so as the day wears on, things will pick up. Sticking with the non-fish meals today. Be interesting to see if we do anything, and when Tony turns up, I'm sure he'll be using fish meal, so it'd be interesting to see if he does any better. We'll perhaps get an idea whether this is any good or complete rubbish. Just felt in that last swim that there weren't any fish there. That's what it felt like. Now, I do like to have my rod pointing downstream, as you'll know. However, if I put it down there in this swim, I'm going to be looking straight at the sun at the moment, so I'm not doing that. Hopefully, get a few bangs and taps and rattles in here. At least give us some indication there's some fish around. I've got a method feeder on, but I've got about a 3-foot hook link as well. So if we feel like they're attacking the method feeder, we can go on the method proper. And if perhaps they're sitting back, we might pick them up that way. Well, I can't buy a bite at the moment. Seemingly off pretty much anything. So I'm going to have one more cast in here. And then I'm going to have a wander down to the swim where we know there's fish. I'm pretty sure there's fish in here, to be honest. But I know they'll be down there. If we start getting bites in there, then maybe we're just not on fish in here, I don't know. It's a bit of a puzzler at the moment, but we did know it was going to be tricky. I think we'll wind this one out a bit further. Let's try that. See if we can hold out there with 3 ounces. the looks of it. This rod's a little bit undergunned for this this swim. Aye, aye. Is that a bite? Can you believe that? Look at that. I've chucked that out further. There's no bite straight away. It's gone straight over. Yes, it is a fish. I was going to say, I think it's a fish. It is a fish. It feels a bit chubby, but it also feels a bit barbely. Just kind of hanging there. Yeah, this is not a chub. Well, he grabbed that as soon as it went in, didn't he? There are fish here. That was literally going to be my last cast in this swim for now. I can't do anything with this at the moment. Let's get that out of the way. Must have dropped that right on his nose. God, he's pulling. Oh, blimey. This rod is bent to the handle. Coming very slowly and very begrudgingly. Not doing a lot, which is usually a sign of a decent fish. Don't want too many of these today in my condition. Just slowly taking a line at the moment. Wow, this is quite unexpected, I have to say. The feeder seemed to bounce a few times and I didn't think it was going to settle out there. I wasn't sure got enough weight to hold, and then round it went. Just dropped it right in front of him. Oh, wow. This is proper pulling, this fish. I'm not making a meal of this. I know I'm not exactly at my fittest at the moment, but well, I know because, as I say, this rod is bent to the handle. But he's not charging about, which tells me he's a decent fish. Yeah, he's winning, certainly. Oh, there he goes. He's no monster at all. He's a nice fish. Sun reflecting off the water is making it impossible. I can't see where he is at all. Got him. Oh, he's a nice fish actually. He's bigger than I thought he was. We're off the mark. How fantastic is that? Right, we'll give him a minute while my arms recover. There we go. That's perfect. What a scrap. Well, there we are. Absolutely wonderful. Really pleased with that. That's fantastic. And as I say, cast just a bit further out. Clearly dropped it on his nose. He took it so fast. It's a lovely fish. Nowhere near as big as I thought he was from that scrap. Must be just my illness and my weakness at the moment. That's fantastic. But he didn't do a lot. He did feel like a bigger one where he was trudging around, but I'll certainly settle for that. That's a cracking fish. Nonetheless, absolutely wonderful. Hopefully the first of a few. Of course, always very important to revive these fish. He's had a good few minutes in his net now. Very lively, as you can see. Certainly ready to go back. That's absolutely cracking. Go on, chap, off you go. And that was in line with the fish meal free day. That was taken on robin red pellet. 40mm robin red pellet that I'd paste wrapped with some paste I'd made from robin red pellets that I'd blitzed up in a blender and just added some robin red liquid to bring it together. It's a little bit non-binding, unfortunately, so what I did was added a bit of Weetabix to it and kneaded it, and that's it did the job. It stayed on and it worked. Now, just the fact that we had that quick recast then and caught fish straight away, it just brought to mind something I often get asked on guiding days. People often ask me how often to recast. Well, I would say doing this sort of thing 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a general rule of thumb for me. Even 5 for getting lots of activity on the method feeder, but if you're not getting too much, 10. 10 minutes is plenty for a few reasons. Firstly, as you saw, you often get a bite as soon as you cast in. But secondly, this is the why. 1 in 10 times you cast in, you're gonna be stuck. You're not gonna be fishing effectively. Your feeder's gonna be under a rock, or your bait's gonna be under a rock, or both. And you don't want that for 20 or 30 minutes. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, give it 10 minutes. If you get some indications, by all means give it longer. But if I haven't had a knock in 10 minutes, that feeder's coming back in. It's getting filled up again. It's going back out. So let's do that, shall we? Fantastic, that's great. I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased. The stodgy non-fish meal's done the job. I don't bother with a method mould either. I just squodge loads of it on. Like so, handful. I get more on as well that way, to be honest. Right, I think we'll go with another robin red pellet. Clearly done the job. Carry a little pot with some 8s and some 14s in here. That was on a 14, so we'll try that again. Yeah, it was strange. I'll have to obviously watch that back, that bite, but I cast it in and then I wasn't sure if it was going to settle or not, being 3 ounces out there. A couple of times the tip went and came back, and I thought, oh, the feeder's moving, and then it just went over and kept going. You must have literally grabbed it on the move. So yes, as I say, just some robin red pellets that I put in a blender, turned them into dust, added some robin red, I think it's robin red dynamite carp food it's called, liquid to bring it together. But then, as I say, I had to add some Weetabix to make it a bit more stodgy. It was a bit too crumbly, and that worked. It's worked really well. Well, let's get a bite anyway. Oh, so bugged up. Nice sat here though, getting a few rays. Right, let's see if we can repeat that. We might have to put a normal feeder on there. Going to be out there. I'm still not convinced this is going to hold, to be honest. Would be better if we could get the rod down that way. Once the sun's moved around, we can. Yeah, could do the 2 1/4 pound Tesco rod in here, as you can see. I always do like to get that baited area going if possible. Because it's great flitting about and picking a fish off here and there and everywhere, but if you can, I always like to build something. If you get a baited area going, you can pick them off and pick them off and pick them off in the same area. Pick one off, pick another one off, rest it, pick another one off. Put some more bait in. But if they're not interested in getting on the bait, so they don't seem to be, because I baited this up at dawn this morning, just after dawn. And there must be 6 bait droppers of pellets in and 2 or 3 of hemp. And I've cast another 8 or 10 yards further out into the river and caught that fish. So he's clearly not interested in coming over this feed. So here we are. Tony's just down it, as you can see. We're gonna double up, I think. See how we get on.
The cast first?
Yeah, you go first, mate. Yeah.
How far out do you reckon?
Well, I baited on the crease, but then I caught that fish about in the middle. So
Cast a little bit further then.
yeah, you could try.
Sort of like in line with my rod rest, go downstream.
Yeah, just out in front somewhere.
Like that.
Yeah, it's probably about another 5 yards past, I reckon I caught that fish, something like that. But then I baited much closer, so I'm going to try a bit closer, like that, which is where I baited. Let's see what happens. It's like he'd never been shown.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Barbel?
possibly. It just keeps knocking.
Yeah, I can see it nodding. That's what I was thinking. Is it a barbel? Or is it a chub? Because I see thump, thump, thump. That one I had was thump, 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 thump.
And
That's not a chub, is it? It's acting very chubby, but it's not.
A big chub.
Want me to come and net it?
This is a barbel. Quite funny.
Yeah, 'cause it seems to have gone into the edge as well.
Yeah,
But-
too far in.
No, I think it's a barbel. I reckon it's more barbel myself. I wonder if they actually just totally detest what I'm throwing at them. this fish meal stuff.
Nodding, isn't it? I was like, shit, I better grab hold of that.
Well, Tony's in. Hasn't taken him long at all. So I'm wondering if, yeah, these non-fish meals are a bit of a waste of time today. It's a barbel, isn't it? Looks like I'm wasting my time with those non-fish meals.
It's sitting now, which would suggest, and he's not kiting in too much.
No, it's not a chub, is it?
Big eel to it.
Big eel. Straight on that, mate. Oh, sorry, can't quite reach. Got it. Come in, get in. Hey! Mad, isn't it, that? 2 casts, 2 bites.
I know, and I missed the first one.
Well, there we are. Hasn't taken Tony long at all. Get on a Robin Red pellet, but you're using a meat fur to grain bait, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's had 2 casts and 2 bites, so I think that speaks volumes. I think I might be walking back to the car in a minute and getting some fish meal grain bait. We'll have a bit of a go for now, though, just as a bit of a comparison. But yeah, cracking. Nice one, mate. Well, I was just about to have a move. Tony's just had a bite. We're wondering whether it's chub or barbel. It's been a bit quiet for sort of hour and a half. Tony's had a little chub. This one's pulling a bit. It's literally just backing away. He ain't took any line yet, has he? Must be a chub. It's my guess. Yeah. Or it could be a big dace, one or the other. It's that same one.
Yeah, it might be.
Here we are, back in the swim we started in. We'll have an hour or 2 in here, and then perhaps try one a bit further down that I baited, which I haven't fished yet. If I'm being honest, I didn't feel so rubbish. Health-wise, I'm talking, not fishing-wise. I would be bothering with this at the moment. I'll be nipping back to the car, be getting a waggler rod, be sitting here, standing here, pinging out meat, and trying to catch some chub shallow in here. I think it'd be absolutely wonderful fun. But I don't have the energy to do it, or even to go and get the rod, to be honest. I'm feeling a bit... It's the most I've done for the last 10 days, probably combined, what I've done today. So I'm running the energy reserves right down at the moment, and it's only about 2 o'clock. So I think sitting around doing a bit of ledgering is perfect today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a bit more energy again. Fingers crossed. Oh, there is a fish on. I was going to say, it feels like there's something on here. Little chub, I think. Yes. Little chub, we had those rattles off, I think. He hung himself. Come on. I think he'd hung himself and thought better of swimming away. Well, not a lot going on in here. It's 5-ish now. Tony's just been down. He's actually had another barbel. He said it went really, really quiet in that swim he's in for a good hour after I left. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, rod hooped over and he had a nice barbel, 7.5 pound-ish. Unfortunately, I haven't got a signal. He was ringing me to come and do some filming, but unfortunately, I haven't got a signal. I didn't realise. And obviously, with fish welfare, he wasn't going to leave it, so he returned it. So I'll stick a picture up for you. You can have a look. But I'm just having an iron as to what to do, really. And there's nothing happening here, so I'm clearly going to move from here. That swim he's in is about the best bet on this stretch that I know of at this height, at this level. So I'm in two minds whether to go back there, jump in back with him, or whether to go and try this other spot just maybe 50 metres down that way. Hand on heart, to be honest with you, I've had a good hour's kip this afternoon. I wound in and had at least hour and a half sleep. I just needed to recharge the batteries. I didn't want to risk my rod being pulled in, so don't have a rear rest or anything. So yeah, I've not fished for perhaps an hour and a half this afternoon. I'll tell you what, as soon as the sun's starting to drop a bit, it's going a bit chilly. Right, this is not happening here. We might as well move. Let's go and have half an hour in that swim down there. Just go and see if we can get a bite in there. All right, here we are. Do you fancy this? It looks nice. I think we'll have a concerted effort in here for the next hour or so. I was thinking of just giving it half an hour, but it's already changed my mind. Oh, let's put some clothes on as well. It's gone proper chilly. Well, I am anyway, but obviously I'm not in the best of health. Did chuck some bait in here a few hours ago now. Well, probably many hours ago now. Right, come on, fishes. Not had anything else from Tony, but I haven't got a signal again. It's just about 6 o'clock. He's got a lot more staying power than me, I have to say. I couldn't sit in a swim like that. Even with it being the best swim, I don't think I could sit in a swim like that all day. Well, it's been there about 7 hours now. I couldn't do it. I get itchy feet if I'm not getting bites. Grass is always greener, which is not always, but I always want to get on the move. Go and find a fish rather than waiting for them to find me. Doesn't look like it's going to pay off today though, but you know, we've got half an hour or so left yet. Not convinced. Oh, there we go, look. Is that on? It is. It is on. What is it? Is the next question. Well, that was me just saying we've only got half an hour left. Well, I know what this is. Don't need to ask that question. It's nodding its head, but it's staying out there and staying very, very deep. It almost feels snagged. It's not. Actually, I think it was. It started coming very easily now. I thought it was a decent barbel, but it's coming in very easily now. Perhaps it is a chub. Perhaps he'd snagged us. Yes, it doesn't feel like a barbel anymore. Well, that's a shame. I thought we were going to finish on a barbel. But we have got half an hour left. I'm pretty sure it's a chub. It feels like a half decent one. I think he was snagged up out there. That's why he felt really heavy and like he was sticking to the bottom. But yeah, I was just mentioning about not being overly convinced by this non-fish meal. Certainly not at this time of the year, perhaps. Well, there he is. Bit of a funny shaped fella. Looks like something's had hold of him. But it's a cracking fish. Perhaps they're coming on the feed. Well, going to call it a day there. It's about 6:45, something like that. Nothing else after that chub. I had a few rattles. Got all the gear stuck again, so time to call it a day, I think. But yeah, Tony hasn't had anything else either. It's been a tricky day as expected. As I said, out again tomorrow. So hopefully, different stretch. Hopefully it'll fish a little bit better than this one. Perhaps do a bit of float fishing as well, like I was saying earlier, depending on whether I quite feel up to it, really. But yeah, gonna have something to eat and have a nice night's sleep and get up first thing in the morning in the frost again by the looks of it. All there's left to do, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support. I'm pleased I made it through the day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for me, and the next video for you.